I have competed well, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. These are the words of St. Paul as he writes to Timothy. Whether it's the Detroit Free Press Marathon or Shrine's own step-by-step race, all races have beginnings and ends with stopping points along the way. Certainly, this is a good metaphor for the Christian life. We begin at baptism, we are judged at the end of our lives, and we prepare for eternal life at all the stopping points in between. I'd like to address two of the stopping points in my homily that are significant to us as a parish community and as citizens of the United States. First, I will talk about a new early childhood development center, and second, the upcoming election. For several years now, it's been apparent that the 35-year-old temporary preschool building has been in need of replacement. A detailed study of our Shrine schools done last summer put as a top priority to address this situation. Several options were considered by the United School Board, Finance Council, and Buildings and Grounds Committee. Three options they came up with. One, do nothing. Second, convert classrooms in the existing grade school building for use by the preschool. Third, build a new dedicated childhood development center on the site of the present preschool building with the capacity to meet the needs of today's parents. After an in-depth analysis, it was determined that building a new building on the present site was the best option for developing a full competitive program at an affordable cost. With the concurrence of the USB, Finance Council, and Buildings and Grounds Committee, the new building will be built on the site of the present preschool portable. It will have 6 classrooms and will be connected to the grade school. The increase in space will accommodate expanded programming designed to meet the needs of current as well as prospective parents and their children. Beginning next September, we will offer families the option of full or part-time preschool for 3- and 4-year-old children, a full-day junior kindergarten, and a twice-per-week parent-taught program. The new facility will also provide shared space for the grade school counselor. You can see renderings of some concept drawings of what the building might look like up on the screens right now. With these actions, Shrine's early childhood facility and programs will be fully competitive with the best programs offered in the area and substantially better than most. The expanded enrollment that we expect to accompany the new facility and increased programming will provide long-term benefits for all Shrine schools over time. The building will be built in 2 phases. First, the modular building itself. Second, the connecting corridor. Because of the tight 10-week time frame from the end of the 16-17 school year to the start of the 17-18 school year, and because it has to be constructed by 2 separate contractors, we are best off doing it over 2 years. As you will recall from the Fulfilling Our Commitment, Renewing Our Mission campaign, one of the 4 pillars of the campaign is to make a significant investment in the grade school, something that was not possible to do in the earlier master plan campaigns. The Early Childhood Center is that investment. So I'm sure you are wondering, how much will it cost and how are we going to pay for it? The estimates we have at present are between $1.2 and $1.5 million for the modular building and between $200,000 and $300,000 for the connecting corridor, for a total in the range of $1.4 to $1.8 million. As has been reported, our pledge total for the FCRM campaign is just short of $6 million in pledges, 50% of which has been collected. We will use a portion of these dollars to fund the building. We are confident that the other 3 pillars will be funded as well once your pledges have been paid off. Of course, should you be so moved to make a contribution specifically for this project, it will be gratefully received. The building is not fully designed yet, but for a close-up view of the concept drawings, there are posters in Heritage Hall and under the long canopy for you to see. While unrelated to the Childhood Development Center, another stop along our journey of faith that I would like to address today is the upcoming election. A suggested bulletin announcement from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops reads, "We strongly urge all parishioners to register, to become informed on key issues, and to vote. The Church does not support or oppose any candidate, but seeks to focus attention on the moral and human dimensions of issues. We do not authorize the distribution of partisan political materials on parish property." As your pastor, it is not my responsibility, nor do I have any desire to tell you who to vote for or who not to vote for. But it is my responsibility to challenge you first to vote, and second, to make sure you are voting from a well-formed conscience. The Church gives us 7 themes from its social teaching to reflect upon and form our conscience as we prepare to vote. First and foremost, life and dignity of the human person. The Catholic Church proclaims that human life is sacred and that the dignity of the human person is the foundation of a moral vision for society. This belief is the foundation of all the principles of our social teaching. In our society, human life is under attack from abortion and euthanasia. The value of human life is being threatened by cloning and embryonic stem cell research and the use of the death penalty. The intentional targeting of civilians in war or terrorist attacks is always wrong. Catholic teaching also calls on us to work to avoid war. Nations must protect their right to life by finding increasingly effective ways to prevent conflicts and to resolve them by peaceful means. We believe that every person is precious, that people are more important than things, and that the measure of every institution is whether it threatens or enhances the life and dignity of the human person. A second theme, the call to family, community, and participation. The person is not only sacred, but also social. How we organize our society in economics and politics, in law and policy, directly affects human dignity and the capacity of individuals to grow in community. Marriage and the family are the central social institutions that must be supported and strengthened, not undermined. We believe people have a right and duty to participate in society, seeking together the common good and well-being of all, especially the poor and vulnerable. A third theme, rights and responsibilities. The Catholic tradition teaches that human dignity can be protected and a healthy community can be achieved only if human rights are protected and responsibilities are met. Therefore, every person has a fundamental right to life and a right to those things required for human decency. Corresponding to these rights are duties and responsibilities to one another, to our families, and to the larger society. A fourth theme, option for the poor and vulnerable. A basic moral test is how our most vulnerable members are faring. In a society marred by deepening divisions between rich and poor, our tradition recalls the story of the Last Judgment and instructs us to put the needs of the poor and vulnerable first. A fifth theme, the dignity of work and the rights of workers. The economy must serve people, not the other way around. Work is more than a way to make a living. It is a form of continuing participation in God's creation. If the dignity of work is to be protected, then the basic rights of workers must be respected. The right to productive work, to decent and fair wages, to the organization and joining of unions, to private property, and to economic initiative. A sixth theme, solidarity. We are one human family, whatever our national, racial, ethnic, economic, and ideological differences. We are our brothers and sisters' keepers, wherever they may be. Loving our neighbor has global dimensions in a shrinking world. At the core of the virtue of solidarity is the pursuit of justice and peace. Pope Paul VI taught that if you want peace, work for justice. The gospel calls us to be peacemakers. our love for all our sisters and brothers demands that we promote peace in a world surrounded by violence and conflict. A seventh and final theme: care for God's creation. We show our respect for the Creator by our stewardship of creation. Care for the earth is not just an Earth Day slogan, it is a requirement of our faith. We are called to protect people and the planet, living our faith in relationship with all of God's creation. This environmental challenge has fundamental moral and ethical dimensions that cannot be ignored. These 7 themes are an excellent guide for forming your conscience. The website for the Michigan Catholic Conference, as well as the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops website, go into greater detail on each of these themes. I encourage you to study them and to pray as you decide your vote. While you may not be happy with any of the candidates, your vote is important. Your vote from a well-formed and faith-filled conscience is essential. And as if you are not happy with any of the candidates, remember it's okay to go ahead and vote for the one who you think is going to do the least amount of damage, the lesser of 2 evils, as it were. Any marathon runner is a little nervous about the race facing them and what they'll encounter along the way. Let's not let any anxiety paralyze us. Let's move forward as disciples together on the road.